Can you give us a brief introduction to the ongoing UK-China Contemporary Culture Festival?
Absolutely, I'm happy to introduce you to the online culture festival, which is called Connected by Creativity. It's our first attempt at running such a festival online, and that ranges from literature, from music, from theatre, from dance, from film, to also industry insight events, which are more targeted at commercial and professional sector for those people that work in the creative economy, such as advertising or in publishing or in gaming. So that will provide some professional input as well through dialogue and discussion online. So yeah, we're really excited about it, and I think the main point to note about the festival is that it is about bringing people together. It's about connecting people, and hence it's called Connected by Creativity.
Mm-hmm. And against the backdrop of this COVID-19 pandemic, most cultural activities have been suspended around the world. But a lot of cultural institutions like museums, art galleries and theaters, they have moved their art online. So what do you make of this offline-online shift?
Working online has opened up new doors for people that may not normally have thought about buying a ticket to go to the theatre, or buying a ticket to go and see a dance performance, but actually this is available online to them, and sometimes it's a lesser ticket price, and perhaps it's more accessible, particularly when you think about disability, disabled people or elderly audiences that might find it challenging dealing with crowds when going to a cultural institution. So in many ways this has actually been a very good learning experience for engaging a diversity of audiences. So in terms of the future, I think that positive lessons will be taken forward from the way that we operate online, and some of those positive lessons, I hope, will weave into the way that we operate online as well. So I think going forward there will be a richer and more broader and more diverse way to engage in arts and culture for everybody. And again, it's very much about making sure that we're all connected by creativity and connected through the arts.
And how has the pandemic influenced the ways that people consume art?
I think that what's been noticeable during the pandemic, I think both here in China and also in the UK, is people's kind of appreciation of arts and culture. I mean, it's not easy to be at home all day. So I think what we've seen during the pandemic is that a large cohort of people internationally have been moving towards the arts, because actually the arts are transformative. They lift our spirits, they stretch our imagination, and they help us to learn about other cultures near and far, and help us to connect through creativity, and also help us to start to think about our own situation differently, help us to build compassion, and help us to build empathy when we start to look at the world through the lens of an artist.
Yeah, we all develop a different perspective on our lives. How do you envision the future for China-UK cultural exchanges in a post-pandemic context?
When we have shared work from the UK with Chinese audiences digitally via our social media channels, we've seen increased engagement actually with some of the museum work that we've done. But also in the UK, people are curious about Chinese culture, and they're very curious about contemporary Chinese art and music and literature. For example, in the Connected by Creativity festival that's happening in October, we have a work produced by Farouk Chowdhury. He's a dance producer in the UK, and he's chosen an Eastern Jin dynasty legend, which in English is called The Butterfly Lovers, as the story that he wants to interpret through dance, and to express that story in a contemporary way. Now, as you know, it's a very tragic yet beautiful story, and it's being told in the medium of dance, and dance of course is a very vulnerable art form to use to tell such a story. So that for me is an example of how a British organisation can take a Chinese story and work with Chinese dancers and British dancers and use the performing arts to put that together into a new story for the next generation, or generations actually, to enjoy. And it's a wonderful way to appreciate each other's cultures and to kind of reflect perhaps on a story that you haven't read in a while, but actually to look at it through a fresh way. So this will continue to grow. And I hope that the relationship will just go from strength to strength, and it's really important that we support young people in China to be able to connect with young people and younger generations in the UK, because they will inherit the world.
Yeah, I think the younger generation should strive to be a global citizen. Having been working in China for over a year, which part of Chinese culture impresses you the most?
This sense of intergenerational connection. It's just wonderful to see the grandparents spending time with grandchildren. That's such a quality and important relationship. It's wonderful to see people dancing publicly in squares, all generations, not caring about how they look, but actually just enjoying that moment and enjoying that collective creative act of dancing together. Yeah. And that could be organised dance, it could be ballroom dancing in the parks. Enjoying some music together. That's a really kind of assuring sign to see in a society when people get together to enjoy a creative act.